What's up, gamers? This is Yuban with a Mechabellum replay commentary. Today we are going to showcase how we counter and defend against Fire Badger and Phantom Ray Oil on the line. Looking at our starting specialist, we wanted to either go for Quick Supply or Sabertooth, as these two specialists gives us 200 supplies in terms of a unit drop or just free 200 supply on round 1. We went for the Sabertooth spec with double saber and fangs, as this is an excellent pairing for asymmetrical aggro. Our opponent is Shadoff, a 2000 to 2100 MMR player, very good player, starting with Fire Badger spec. As we were setting up our board, we're thinking about how we want to position our chaff units because of the middle defensive wall and this rapid fire cannon. We struggled deciding whether or not we want to put a fang here to just let them die to the cannon. However, we still decided we wanted to leave 7 squares to the side for any potential Titan units later on. In this case, we went for 1 pack of Fang on the side to protect our flank, protect the weak side tower, and 2 packs of Crawlers right behind the Sabertooth. Opponent sold out of the 1 pack of Sledgehammers and decided to go for Fire Badger right off the bat. And as you can see here, with his superior chaff clear ability and the late arriving crawlers, our Sabertooth were not able to lock on to any of his units, causing him to have an overwhelming victory on round 1. Looking at the Sabertooth, looking at opponent's Fire Badger, I wasn't too concerned because we also wanted to go for Fire Badger of our own, as I believe this unit is fantastic in a headbutt or asym aggro situation. Round 2 reinforcement, my eyes immediately went to the redeployment because we're in an aggro situation. I wanted to have the flexibility to be able to move my units around to defend and potentially do some kind of deep flank distraction and be able to move the unit back. Here we decided to put the fangs from the weak side tower back to the right side. The thought process is that we get a free pack of chaff unit in the front, and we also get to defend, essentially deter our opponent's push on the weak side tower. Because we already had a fang here, he's not going to think that we're going to move the fang to the protective side. So very unlikely for him to go for the weak side tower. However, it seems like this kind of clever play is no good into our opponent's transition into the Phantom Ray Oil on the line with his 1 pack of Fire Badger. That's going to burn up 4 to 5 packs of our frontline chaff units right here, right now. And you can tell that he's been playing this a lot because he positioned the Phantom Rays just far enough that the oil spread out perfectly to kind of like create a link for the Fire Badger's fire. And that led to an overwhelming defeat once again. Round 3 unit reinforcement, we got very lucky with 2 anti-air units showing up, the Phoenix and the Marksman, and also potentially the Wraith and Void Eyes. In this case, we're going to set our eyes on the triple Marksman, as we like the 3 deployments, and we like having the ability to click aerial spec to allow us to prioritize target the Phantom Rays. As you can see here, we're going to position our Marksman just far back enough that all the ground units are slightly out of range. meaning as soon as they die, or even potentially even before they die, our marksman's aerial spec will be able to just prioritize target the phantom rays and one-shot them one by one. From here, recognizing everything is going to be on fire, we redeployed one of our crawlers in the back behind the Sabertooth to the back line, trying to create some kind of tower debuff situation. Opponent read that play and went for the missile. From here, we also placed one pack of crawler in the front to concentrate the Phantom Ray's oil in the front, lining up to his own hounds and late arriving crawler. Hey, if I cannot have chaff units, I don't want you to have chaff units either. So what this crawler is going to do is going to draw all the oil into this concentrated area in the front, allowing our fangs in the back to actually still chaff clear minimally. Sorry, not chaff clear, act as chaffs, at least right up until when they walk into the fire. And with our unit drop, we decided to put the Sabertooth right on the line to get the hounds stuck shooting on them. Let's see if our opponent's attempt at pushing our weak side tower is going to result in a tower debuff before we can clean up his army. And with our 4 aerial spec marksmen, it seems like even before our opponent can get into the tower, we were very successful in clearing everything that's in the air. And this should give us a much needed victory against this really annoying composition. Round 4 reinforcement. Recognizing that we have a Sabertooth that's about to level, we decided to grab the heavy armor. We recognize that opponent sure is amazing at chaff clear with all the fire. He still has a hard time dealing with these heavy armor high HP units with his fire badgers and hounds. So we decided to go for this. Opponent went for the speed advanced power system as expected, as he is trying to make a push for our weak side tower. From here, we redeployed one more pack of crawler, putting it in the middle, hoping that the fire would be gone by the time that the crawlers arrive at battle. Really, we should have put the crawlers here. Regardless, we decided to reinforce our defense on the left side here, putting one pack of Fire Badger, Sabertooth, and the marksman right by the tower. In hindsight, we should have been selling out of these Fire Badgers right from round 3, round 4, as they were doing nothing at all, because all we needed to do for chaff clear was to put a pack of crawler in the front to light everything on fire, and our opponent's strategy is going to work against them. You can see instant target from our marksman with the aerial spec. And even with our opponent's transition into the wasp distraction, it seems like we're going to clean up our opponent's strong side push with no problem. And all that's left is to have our fangs help us clear the wasp. And with 4 marksmen, we're going to clear this push no problem. Going into round 5, we didn't go for the incendiary bomb because we thought, hey, everything is going to be lit on fire, and opponent literally has no chaff in the back, so the fire does nothing. Instead, we decided to go for the EM impact, trying to turn off our opponent's scorching charge tech, just so they don't charge into our marksmen or late arriving chaff units. However, we did not foresee our opponent's scorching incendiary bomb attempt at killing all of our marksmen. Hopefully, because they're level 2, they can survive the fire for long enough to kill at least all the phantom rays. From here, recognizing Opponent also has oil and fire on this side, and he also clicks Scorching Charge last round. Let's put the crawler right up front so we can just take care of our opponent's frontline chaff of hounds. And most importantly, not have the oil land on our marksman like last round and burn him to death. We moved our Sabertooth to this side, recognizing he could potentially push harder into this weak side, and we just need more tanks in the front to buy time for our marksman to shoot away at the Phantom Rays. And then after seeing the Wasp, we have two options. We could go for the Mustangs on the ground, or we can go for Wasp in the air with anti-air. And you can guess that with everything on the ground being on fire constantly, we decided to go for the late arriving Wasp in this case. We went for one pack all the way in the back, trying to match the arrival time for our opponent's late arriving Wasp, trying to meet the battle right here. If we had placed the Wasp anywhere forward, we're going to meet the battle here, and we could potentially lose our Wasp due to RNG. This pack of Wasp is more forward because we want them to meet our opponent's Phantom Ray in case he finds a way to kill our marksman once again. Let's see if the EM is going to do anything besides just disabling the Scorching Charge. I think that's good enough. But with our opponent's Incendiary Bomb landing on the marksman, seems like we're going to be just fine. As marksmen with the prioritized targeting, we're still able to gun down all of the Phantom Rays in the process. And with them still alive to this point, it seems like our Wasp that are late arriving have found the correct target. And with the tower debuff, this is going to help us buy time for the marksman in the back and for the Wasp to arrive to battle to help us clean up and take another round victory, taking our opponent down to 1600, well within killing range. Round 6 reinforcement. With our opponent having Phantom Rays in the front, I didn't want to grab the sledgehammers as they would just feed. They would just get taken out really quickly. However, in hindsight, I think the sledgehammers could have been a really good choice because these frontline level 1 phantoms are just dying instantly to the marksman's targeting. However, not thinking that way during the game, we decided to go for the steel ball, recognizing we don't need any more chaff clear, and we have the marksman doing a fantastic job targeting air. It's either the steel ball or the sledgehammers. And from here, we decided to grab the steel ball because we're assessing our situation here. Our opponent is unlikely going to push harder and lean into his build more. The best way for him to turn the game around is to go for a Titan unit, like a front-facing mountain or some kind of giant unit. And the steel ball could potentially serve as our insurance policy against these Titan or giant play. And as we predicted and anticipated, our opponent went for a War Factory on the back line with range enhancement. This is pretty clever as all the chaff units are going to be burned up, and it's going to leave the War Factory to be able to kill these Sabertooth pretty quickly, especially without the range tech. On our side, we decided to go for more Wasp, now clicking aerial spec, recognizing if we can kill the Wasp, that will give us our marksman a clear line of shot at all these medium-sized units. And if we can win the air battle, we can deal with any Titan that's to come. Let's see if the steel balls are going to do anything. It seems like with no chaff to help them along the way, these steel balls were just a pipe dream. Didn't do much at all. And look at this opponent's fire. It actually helped us a lot more by killing our opponent's late arriving crawlers. With no more anti-air and a tower debuff, our opponent's transition into the war factory seems to have failed. But that is not enough to take him down. And this potentially could be his turnaround round or the last round before we can finish him off. We both decided to go for the laser sight. We put it on our level 2 wasp, trying to keep them safer, while opponent went for 1 pack of range Mustang in the all the way in the back. Okay, 2 packs in the back, trying to take care of the wasp. I think his goal here is to have the Mustangs kill the wasp, and which allows the war factory to clean up everything else. On our hand, after seeing the war factory, we decided to go for the abyss play, recognizing even if we go for range on the steel balls, there's no chaff in front of them to protect them, and they're just going to die. Instead, we moved one of our marksmen out of the way to make room for this abyss level 1, no tech in the middle, and we placed 1 more pack of wasp in the back, trying to shield for the abyss in case opponent gets any kind of single target DPS units. And from here, you can see that we stopped building chaff from like round 3. We just started leaning into the air chaff because we recognized that everything is just going to burn up on the ground. And with our opponent's Mustangs being level 1 and only 1 pack left, our abyss should be able to just stay back and take care of business and grant us this win here. So that is our step-by-step counter against opponent going for Fire Badger, Phantom Ray on the line. A few key things. Number 1, putting your crawlers right in front of the Phantom Ray. You see here we placed the crawler right in between these two, so he essentially wasted a pack of unit to lay oil in the same place. Number 2, start moving or selling out of your chaff if possible. Number 3, going for anti-air units in the back, preferably marksman or something in the air, maybe Phoenix or even Wraith at high levels. When you place the marksman with anti-air, you want to go vertical view, and you want to have them have the regular attack range just right outside of the Phantom Ray. And then once you click the aerial spec, that's going to help you prioritize target the Phantom Rays very quickly. Instead of having chaff, I think having some kind of heavy frontline tank units can be very helpful in the form of maybe field maintenance, saber-tooth field maintenance. Sledgehammers can both be fantastic for the frontline tank. And lastly, if our opponent doesn't go into the Mustangs, having some wasp in the air can be really nice to deal with some of the late arriving Phantom Rays, or just having the air superiority. Yeah, that concludes our replay analysis for today. I hope you enjoyed the game as much as I did. Make sure you check out our other replay commentary games in the playlist above me. Thanks for watching. Until next time.